And we are live, I think.
Oh, cool.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very experimental live version of Sickle and Hammer Time podcast.
Remember us?
We are here. Uh, we do you wanna go over what happened? Why we haven't been around for a year?
Um, wow, I disappeared.
Yeah.
I disappeared into the ether. I don't know. I think honestly, what happened was I lost my mind a bit for a minute there, and I kind of fell off the face of the internet and the world in general.
Hang on, I'm
And I
really sorry. Your thing is scuffed again.
is it
Yeah,
man?
it's really
This sucks.
robotic.
Okay,
I know.
does it sound?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Um. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on. My microphone's been acting up. But I hope it's better now. Yeah, no,
No,
what I was
it's
saying
still
is that basically
robotic. Still really bad.
still really bad, huh?
Yeah.
That sucks. I don't know what to do about it now.
Maybe if you stop recording.
Yeah. Is this better?
Yeah, that sounds good.
It it is? Oh
Yeah,
man. I don't know. Must be the software or something messing up.
maybe it's like doesn't know what to do if it Discord and recording at the same time.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. That would make sense. Yeah. That sucks.
Anyway, you were saying
Anyway,
you went insane.
yeah, no, I kind of lost my mind for a bit there, I think. Or I just when the whole lockdown happened, it was very intense in Denmark, and it
Mm,
it kind of has come back to being as intense now these last 2 months or so.
yeah,
But it really messed with me because everything shut down and everything became like it all became a thing where you had to stay at home. And I was like, as you know, at university, and I had to deal with that. And I was in a group situation that wasn't as good, and my
yeah.
relationship at the time fell apart. And it was just like a lot of stuff on top of each other that
Hmm.
kind of just prompted me to leave the internet completely and just be like, I'm done with this, and I just need to learn how to do stuff with my hands, more or less. Like I learned how to like do like make food and like I learned how to wood shop stuff and like just practical stuff, not for like survivalist reasons or primitivist reasons, but just because I felt like I was kind of losing my mind for a bit, and I needed to reconnect somehow with reality in a way
Yeah.
that wasn't, because I felt like I was living my life on the internet or something, and
Mm.
I needed to stop that, I think.
I mean, I also took a break from the internet
Mhm.
for a while there, which some people might remember. Um, what was I gone for? Like 2 months or something?
I remember, yeah, you were gone. That was late last year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, no, I mean, I was like, I get it. Like, the internet is, it's hard being on the internet.
It is. It is, especially when you can't really control it, like,
You
when you
can't
don't have that
control the
impulse
internet.
control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I
So,
mean,
yeah.
we were both just doing podcasts and talking. I mean, we talk about our lives in the podcast and stuff, and we talk about, our personal thoughts and everything. And I think it's
Mhm.
maybe especially for me because you're not as much of like a public figure, I guess.
Mhm.
Like you
Yeah.
don't have like you don't promote your social media as much as I do. You don't upload as much to YouTube as I do.
Oh,
Um, no offense, but
no. I mean, you know me, I'm always plugging my by the way, go follow me on TikTok. I am at, Jenna Marbles.
uh, no, but like I've been like a public figure-ish on like left tube for
Right.
like 5 years at this point, and sometimes it gets to me,
Mhm.
and I get annoyed and kind of not depressed, but I do feel the impact of people constantly like demanding things of me.
Right. And it must be much more intense with you, especially because you are, like, the face of this operation, like you said.
Mm. Yeah, I'm the important one, I think.
Yeah, you are, the top honcho in this hierarchy of the Sickle and Hammer Time Corporation.
Yeah, I'm the CEO, you're the CFO.
If even CFO. No, no, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And it honestly wasn't a thing I planned out. I didn't plan on just disappearing completely from your server or like Discord server or from YouTube or from anything. It just kind of turned out that way where I just needed like I wasn't on Facebook or Twitter. Like if you see my Twitter, I also fell off the face of the earth at that time too.
Yeah.
I wasn't really doing any the only thing I was doing on my phone was playing those awful mobile games if I wasn't doing anything. Like I was just constantly playing those terrible freemium games.
Mm.
Um so that's all I was doing on my phone really and just trying to stay afloat with these changing times, I guess. And yeah, just trying to maintain somewhat something of a mental health on top of things. It was really tough. It was really tough this year, I think. How's your year been, by the way?
No, I mean with Corona and everything, it's been I mean, it's been tough for everyone, I think. I think I've had it easier than probably most. Um is, a lot of people have wanted to see their families this year, and I've been pretty lucky in that I was living with my dad when the pandemic began. I'd like just moved back home from my own apartment,
Mhm,
um, and I didn't get stuck like all alone in that apartment, but I could spend quarantine with my dad.
mhm.
Um, and my mom was here for a while. She like quarantined before, and then we like didn't really go out when she was here and stuff. And um, but we probably won't see grandma this year,
No,
um, because it's just logistically, it's not an easy thing. Like it's hard. It's not easy to like arrange it in a way that's safe. You know.
no, no. Yeah, I totally get it.
So I
I
mean,
am
Christmas
also yeah.
is going to be very different for a lot of people this year.
It is. It
And
is.
just
It's
just
pretty yeah.
staying inside, and not really going outside, and it's even for someone who is as much of a neat, as much of an otaku as me, who didn't go outside much to begin with, it gets to you.
It does.
Seeing the same four walls
Oh, yeah.
and everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
especially right now, one of the main reasons I picked up Discord again just last week, I guess, was because I literally was just like, "Oh, right, Discord exists," you know?
yeah,
And also I was like, "Oh," because I don't know, like, I've been doing is just, like, because the schools in Denmark are still open, and I work at a
mm,
school, so I just go to school and then go home by myself, and I just sit and stare at nothing, and, like, it really gets to be depressing after a while.
yeah,
If you literally, like, I can't even you know what I mean? Like, I'm not technically allowed to hang out with my friends or anything, you know?
yeah,
Or I am, but we're told to do this social bubble thing of 10 people, and I
mm,
really want to make that my family for Christmas. But I am also really worried about whether or not to go home this year to them because they live in a house and they're, like, in their 70s, you know what I mean? And they
yeah.
have, like, they have some health stuff going on, and I don't know, it's a lot of people suddenly because also my brothers are gonna be there and my nieces and stuff, so yeah.
Hmm.
And I like, imagine that's also the thing that it's very macabre to think about too, but, like, what if you were the one that gave your
Yeah.
parents COVID, you know?
I mean,
And you just didn't know.
but yeah, but I mean, it's difficult because it's like you want to imagine that. I think a lot of people, especially maybe here in Sweden, I think feels a little bit like not as many people are taking it seriously here as perhaps they should.
Mhm,
I think a lot of people are thinking, have the mindset of sort of, well, I'm young, I'm healthy, so
mhm.
if I get it, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But to me, the scariest thing is the thought of giving it to someone else,
Yeah, same.
even someone I don't know. Because like, what if I have it and I'm asymptomatic and I go outside and I give it to just some random passerby in the street, and then they go home to their like 90-year-old grandmother?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that to me is terrifying.
That's the terrifying thing about it too for me because I don't think if I got it that I would, you know, it would be like I would feel it like probably like a flu
Yeah.
type of thing. but it wouldn't mess up my life, you know? But like, yeah, no, the thought of passing it on to someone who, because I also have friends who have like asthma and people who have like chronic lung issue
Mm,
stuff. So like even if I'm not hanging out with old people, you could still pass it on to some young person who would be in the risk group, you know?
yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
2020. What a year.
2020. Yeah. The vaccine's coming, they're saying, you know?
That's yeah. That's good.
Four of them right now I've read. Four,
Yeah,
right? Four
yeah.
vaccines.
I know one of them is developed in Germany by a Turkish couple. I think
Yeah,
a Turkish wife and a German husband, or like a power couple vaccination team. They're like the front runners. Their vaccine right now, I think.
that's
But
really good.
yeah, these first vaccines are going to be the most crude, so to speak. They're going to
Mhm,
be the ones where you have to renew them once every 6 months.
mhm. Yeah,
And the big thing about vaccines is production, because even if a vaccine is created and like one exists, you have to actually make it as well.
yeah.
And I
You'd
mean, the
have to
goal
produce it.
essentially is to vaccinate everyone on Earth, right? Everyone who can be vaccinated. That's a fuckload of vaccines. That's at least 200. Uh,
At the very least,
yeah,
200. I'm thinking maybe even more.
yeah, it could be as high as 500.
Wow, I mean, maybe not 500.
Well, I mean,
450.
it depends on the kind of the alignment of the moon and the
True.
population of the Earth, which no
That's
one
true.
knows what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Um,
Is Stalin a human?
yeah, he's dead.
Oh, right, right, so he doesn't count.
He doesn't need vaccine.
No, he doesn't. That's true. Ugh. So we don't need to vaccinate dead people.
Maybe it depends on how long ago it was they died.
True, true. So the when dead people stop being contagious?
Yeah. And do vaccines help with contagious corpses?
We really need to do a public service announcement about we need to socially distance from dead people.
Yeah, don't keep grandma in your house after she's
No.
passed. Don't like prop her up in a chair with sticks or whatever.
No, she could be contagious.
Yeah. You don't know what she died of.
No, you don't know who she's hanging out with when you're not
She's like weekend at Bernie, is hanging around town.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe there's a young CEO or CFO, couple of young guys hanging out with your grandma, taking her to all the swinging parties to meet babes.
Yeah. What's your profile picture, by the way, on Discord?
Uh, I think it's from an experimental film. This is from, I think I added this in February. It's from like an experimental film group on YouTube, I think,
Huh.
called it's like some crazy it's just like an art project, but it's like making out to be this giant mystery thing about LSD and stuff. But I just thought it looked cool. I just thought I like the colors and stuff.
Yeah. Mine is a cat with a cowboy hat on.
Yeah, I see. It's I was gonna ask next, what is this creature on your profile pic?
Yeah.
It
Audio
opens its
listeners
mouth.
will not be able to see the glory that is my profile picture. Um, but it is a cat, and it has a cowboy hat, and then when I talk it goes boop. It has a very big mouth, and it looks like the cat is talking when I'm talking.
Yeah. You listeners, you need to create Google accounts, google.com accounts. So you can go on www dash dot sorry, www.youtube.com.
Hang
And
on. Go back.
yeah.
What was that? Can you take that again?
Oh, sorry. Actually, you need to write. Okay, so you need to take out your keyboard
Yeah. Huh.
from the
Hang
computer.
on. I'll get it out of the closet.
Cool. Yeah. No, you might need to call an internet service provider for direction on where in the cupboard your keyboard is.
Mm.
But you take it out and then
Yep.
you plug the USB cable
Mm-hmm.
or the little blue thing, the round blue thing. You
This is
plop that into
going.
your
This is
computer.
way too. This goes all over my head. Let's keep going.
Okay.
2020.
Yeah. It's true. True. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't
um,
mean to. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. 2020.
what would you say, like, out of 10?
Mm.
How great has this year been?
For me personally, or for the planet?
Well, you can do both. You can do both.
Ooh,
You personally first, maybe.
me personally,
Yeah, like.
uh, it feels like one of those. This is such a cliche, but it feels like one of those years where it's many years in one. I
Oh
think
yeah, absolutely.
every week has kind of felt like a month for me. But I would have to give it personally for me, selfishly, maybe like an 8 out of 10
Yeah. What's your
because
what's like your scores? Like 8 hats,
uh, eight eight little bowls of strawberries with cream. That's like the
strawberries with cream.
yeah.
You
So
have
strawberry,
strawberries, and then you
strawberry,
also have
cream.
strawberries with cream on
Right.
top.
Yeah, strawberries that are eating strawberries with cream. It's a very gross picture. It's like
Yeah,
cannibalism. You hate to
yeah.
see it.
That's a good scoring system.
Thank you. Yeah, cannibalizing strawberries, eating strawberries with cream. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
8 out of 10 of those. And on a planet scale, probably like a 2 out of 10.
Mm. Yeah.
What would your scores be?
Well, it's interesting because uh, it's pretty low on both. It's not actually very interesting. I don't know why I said that. It's not interesting. It's been a terrible year. Um,
It is interesting.
yeah, I mean, we got COVID, obviously, which is like the big thing.
Hmm.
Um, it's called COVID-19, but that's the year it was discovered. Really, it's COVID-20 because that's when it fucking blew up into a pandemic. Um, I mean, we had the Australian bushfires.
Yeah. Devastating.
We had the continuation of the civil war in Libya,
Yeah. Hmm.
which is still going on. Civil war in
And now
Syria,
in
still going on.
Ethiopia, they're saying there's going to be a war in Ethiopia now.
Really?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Eritrea or
No,
Somalia?
I think a civil war. I think a civil war is what's happening right now, and the military is preparing to attack the capital or something.
Huh. I had not heard about that.
No, it sucks. It's terrible.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was a big political upheaval in Ethiopia. The leading political party or political coalition changed. They've sort of done a right wing turn in Ethiopia
Yeah.
from a sort
Yeah.
of leftish government to a kind of neoliberal government
Yeah.
coalition.
Didn't the military also suddenly take a part in it or something?
Maybe
I'm
I
not sure how it all works out. Yeah.
no, I don't get many news of Ethiopia on my feeds.
No. I
Um,
know that the only reason I know about it is because a lot of foreign aid from Denmark, for some reason, goes to Ethiopia. So they are
hmm,
discussing that because so the Danish government is especially aware of Ethiopia.
interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, the war in Yemen,
Yeah. Mhm.
very much still going on. I mean, just back in, I mean, we're still in January. I'm going down this list of things that have happened. We're still in January here.
Yeah.
Um,
That's crazy.
the impeachment
What
of
a year.
Donald Trump. Remember that from January?
Remember that. That was
Yeah, impeachment trial. When he was acquitted by the Senate
yeah.
in February 5th.
Jesus, yeah.
Uh, January 31st, the UK formally withdraws from the European Union. Brexit
Mhm.
happened. That was this year.
I know. I know. Isn't that crazy? This year has been I mean, it's been very depressing reading the news.
Yes.
A lot of
Turkey,
suffering.
the Turkish government invaded northern Syria and Kurdistan.
Mhm.
Um, the COVID-19 pandemic reached Italy, which was, I mean, Italy was like the big one, right, in
Mhm.
Europe. I mean, it spread once it got to Italy. That was kind of it for Europe, I think.
It was. Yeah, in all fairness, it was, yeah. Yeah. And that's
Um,
kind of when my year goes black. That's where it's just like
yeah,
that's where I didn't have the moral fortitude to keep reading the news.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then oh yeah, so I mean something that's maybe a little bit more trivial. Macedonia changed its name to North Macedonia.
That's right. Yeah, that was a big thing.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, ish.
Yeah. That conflict is kind of hilarious, but also terrifying in a way.
It is, yeah. I don't fully. I can't say that I fully understand the conflict. So for those who are uninitiated, there is this has been this big conflict between Greece and the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia
Mhm.
over the name Macedonia.
Mhm.
Greece claiming that Macedonia is historically and culturally and whatever a province of Greece, and there's a region in Greece called Macedonia.
Mhm.
And so when the country of Macedonia, which is borders Greece, is just north of Greek Macedonia, they wanted to make their name the Republic of Macedonia. And Greece was very upset at that, and they said, no, no, no. You can call yourself the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, but you can't call yourself just Macedonia because Macedonia is a part of Greece. And this because Greece is in NATO, they could veto Macedonia from joining NATO.
Mhm.
So Macedonia for a long time couldn't join NATO even though they wanted to.
Mhm.
And so
And wasn't there
eventually,
also a thing? Wasn't there also a thing that Macedonia means something like Peter the Great or some name like that, which is like a folk hero in Greece?
oh, it's very much related to Alexander the Great.
Alexander, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah, Peter was Russian.
the ancient or almost pre-ancient Greek hero who, I mean, he conquered the known world essentially. He went from Greece to India.
Right.
He took Egypt and installed a Greek Ptolemaic dynasty in Egypt, replacing
Mhm.
I believe replacing the last native Egyptian dynasty with a
Yeah.
Greek, just a random Greek army general in his army who
Mhm.
became the new pharaoh.
That's
And
so
that's
true. Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
that's the
Which is
dynasty that ended with Cleopatra as well.
yeah, that's true. Okay, so it's maybe a little bit like if Denmark named a city the birthplace of all the members of ABBA,
Yeah,
and then Sweden was like, "Dude, you can't call yourself that." And we're like, it's totally the name of the thing. This is where all the people in ABBA were born."
yeah,
I think that's literally what the conflict is. I mean, that's
yeah.
simplifying it, of course, but
hmm I mean, it's in general you can think about it as there is this very fuzzy like general area which was historical Macedonia, and
mhm,
it's somewhere around the border between Greece and North Macedonia and like Bulgaria and all these other, like it's generally around there. There are no
right. It's
like
one of those
clear
Ottoman
cut borders
Empire.
for exactly where historical Macedonia ended.
Right, it's like one of those, Ottoman Empire,
Yeah.
boundary border type disputes,
hmm
I guess. Yeah,
Um,
but what I
so
wanted to ask, if I may ask you a question, Mr. Scapegoat.
I will allow it.
Thank you. What would you say are some good things that have happened this year?
Uh,
Putting you on the spot here. Because 'cause I'm thinking about that now, and I'm not sure. Like, for me personally,
yeah.
um, I have a new girlfriend, which is nice.
Oh,
Um,
that is nice.
that is really nice. I have a job now, which is really nice, but like on a big scale, like okay, this might be like a hot take, but I'm not sure Biden is better than Trump. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't like Trump at all, don't get me wrong. But Biden is, I don't know. He seems competently evil, whereas Trump was incompetently evil.
Do you think Biden is competent in anything?
Maybe not, but his team is, because it's like the
Mm.
Obama team, you know?
Yes. No,
I don't know.
I mean, I can understand that. I don't. I mean,
They're not good
maybe we can
either.
talk about.
Yeah.
I think we could spend quite a long time talking about the election. I just want to see if there's anything left on
Of course. Yeah, yeah.
the
No,
list.
yeah.
Right. Yes, the explosion in Lebanon.
Oh, that was horrifying. I remember waking up that morning and being like, "Is this Israel attacking them? Is this a new war or
Yeah.
something?" That was gross. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there are Lebanese people at my school. There are Lebanese people in my Discord server. I
Mhm.
mean, that was like a scary few couple of days because didn't really know what had happened or why or
Yeah.
how many people were hurt. I mean, luckily, um, it wasn't as bad as it could have been,
Mhm.
but that's 220 people died in that explosion,
I know.
very needlessly.
Completely just due to like government incompetence.
Yeah, just ignoring safety regulations at the shipping harbor.
Yeah.
Um, Shinzo Abe in Japan announced his resignation,
Mhm.
the longest serving prime minister in the history of Japan. Very, I mean, I would say extremely significant in modern Japanese history. The
Yeah.
Shinzo Abe. Um,
He's someone who's been around for a long time, that guy. Hasn't he been in office and then out of office and then back in
oh
office?
yeah, I mean, he's been in politics his whole life. He's been a very influential figure in the Liberal Democratic Party. I mean, he's in one way or another, he's been leading Japanese politics for decades.
Mhm.
And I mean, he's been like a conservative, but still like a competent. You know, I mean, he's a liberal conservative. He's like a competent leader, I would say, but still, he refuses to apologize for Japanese war crimes and
Yeah.
reconcile with China over World War II and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
he's controversial.
Yeah. To just put it mildly. Yeah.
What else has happened this year? Jeff Bezos, um, first person in history to, to have over $200 billion as a
I mean,
personal net
great
worth.
moment. Great moment in human history, am I right?
Yeah,
We did it, guys.
I mean some good news.
It's a good development in $200 billion. And this is after his divorce?
Uh, did he have a divorce?
He was, yeah, he got it was so outrageous because, like, okay, so he was married, and then the divorce made it so that immediately his now ex-wife is the richest woman on the planet just from the money she got out of the divorce.
That is pretty outrageous. How much did she get?
It must have been like 50 billion. I don't know, like 100 maybe?
Wow.
Yeah, right?
I mean, honestly, I can respect the hustle.
Same, honestly. Like,
I would marry Jeff Bezos for $50 billion.
I would do awful things for that kind of money.
Well, yeah. Armenia and Azerbaijan were at war for like 2 weeks.
That's right, that happened too.
Over
That wasn't
the
that long ago, was it?
No, it was not long ago. It was in October.
Wow.
Yeah, September, October.
Yeah.
Um, over the Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, which is a semi-autonomous region inside Azerbaijan, who, on the one hand, want independence, and then on the other hand, want to join Armenia because, like, ethnically, culturally, linguistically, they're Armenian.
Mhm.
They're also Christian, I'm pretty sure, and Azerbaijan is Muslim.
Mm.
So that's been a very like a point of contention since 1991 and the breakup of the Soviet Union.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turkey got in there supporting Azerbaijan.
It's really heartbreaking. Yeah, Armenia, so many people had to flee from their
Mm.
homes. I read a news story about how they all burned down their villages so that people couldn't just move into the houses out of like protest.
Mm.
They felt very betrayed by their government and stuff. It's really heartbreaking stuff
Yeah,
to
there's
read.
a very large Armenian community in Lebanon. A lot
Yeah.
of uh, and in Israel and Palestine as well. I mean,
Yeah.
the Armenians have a whole quarter in Israel in Jerusalem.
That's right. Yeah, we forget about it, but they do have a very vibrant quarter too, from what
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah.
I
But
mean, that's the
they are one of
diaspora
those, yeah.
from Armenia,
Yeah.
because
They are one of those, persecuted minorities around the world.
yeah.
Like, they really are. Like, you have the genocide that happened with them by
Hmm.
Turkey, what, about 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Awful. Yeah, no, just really like a fledgling place.
Much like the Romani people and the Irish as well, going back a bit further.
Yeah, yeah.
Just they fled all over the world, and you can find their communities kind of everywhere. And going back, I mean, even further than that, going back like 1,000 years, the Jews as well were a persecuted minority. They fled from their homeland. They ended up like in basically every country in the world,
Mhm.
and just lived in their own communities.
Yeah, true. And also like Magomed Kairatov, I hope I said that right, probably not. In the comments said that there's also obviously a lot of Armenians in Russia.
Mm,
That makes a lot of sense.
yes,
And also apparently is this Friedrich Engels' 200th birthday today? Mr. Hansen said that.
it might be.
That would, I mean, in that case, shouts out to
Oh yeah, it is.
Engels' 200th. That's a big day.
I hope he enjoys it. I hope he
Love
gets.
you, Freddie. Freddie. Hey, congrats, Fred.
I hope he gets a birthday cake with 200 candles in
I hope he gets offered a vaccine. I mean,
it. Yeah, I mean that's
yeah.
a risk group, isn't it? Like the over 200s.
Yeah, the people who are very, very dead. Most dead, probably.
I mean, when you are dead, there isn't really a higher risk than that.
That's true,
It's like,
but you can still spread it to other dead people.
like the risk of you being dead is 100%.
That's true. So that's what I mean. When you take a dead person and put it next to a dead person, they're both dead.
Yeah,
It spreads.
very risky being dead.
That's why you put them in boxes so they don't make other dead people dead.
Yeah, I think isn't it in like Svalbard in Norway where like you can't, you're not allowed to. What is it like? You're not allowed to be buried because like you can spread the plague or something. Like,
Oh, right. Yes, the very, very northern
yeah,
island of Svalbard. Yeah.
because like polar bears will like dig you up or something,
Uh huh. Yeah. It's
and then
crazy.
and then your body spreads the plague. I think, I don't know. I don't remember.
Also,
I
I
know
read
there's some rule about like you're not allowed to be buried in Svalbard. Your corpse has to be moved somewhere else.
I totally believe it. And
Hmm.
I read somewhere,
Thank you
this might
for
be total
believing me.
BS. What?
Thank you for believing me.
Yeah, no, it's total Svalbard territory. What you just said is totally classic Svalbard.
Yeah.
But I read somewhere that it's one of the only places where you can go without like a visa. Like you don't have to apply for
Ah.
citizenship of Svalbard. And also, it's what is it like? The Norwegian government will pay you for living there because they really want people to live on the island.
Why do they want people living there?
I don't know, maybe to make it more attractive for people or something.
Why do they want? It's a fucking sheet of ice.
I don't know. I'm guessing it has some strategic importance for the Norwegians or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
There was
I
a
guess in
show.
like international law, it's like
Yeah,
if you have an
geopolitics.
island that no one lives on, it's easier for other countries to claim that it's not
Yeah.
sovereign territory.
I think so. I think so.
But I think it's
And
so big that like it would probably count as sovereign territory. I don't know. I don't know.
maybe I don't know how many people live there though. There's a great Norwegian miniseries about the Utøya, the
Yeah.
killing on that island, where they because one of the families came like one of the kids that were there who survived came from Svalbard. So they filmed a lot of the show on Svalbard because they focused on him. And it's gorgeous up there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I want to live there.
I wouldn't. I would never. I would never.
No, 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 no. I can't.
No. It's
That kind of
very
cold is
pretty in pictures. I'd love to have like a 4K wallpaper to put on my TV.
oh man, could you imagine?
Yeah, you know, like when you have your Google Chromecast plugged in and it like
Yeah.
flips through like pictures of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where
I always
that's
liked it. Yeah.
that's where I want to. That's as close as I want to get to Svalbard.
Probably me too. Yeah. I mean, maybe like a ferry trip there would be cool where you can sit inside in like nice room temperatures and just look outside. But that's basically the same thing as having it on your on your TV. Comfortable boat. Not
Yeah.
yeah. And also, I don't want to be on a boat this year. Holy crap.
No, probably a bad place to be. Unless you have like a private boat,
It's true.
like
A friend of mine just got a boat. I think it's cool.
you just got a boat
He just bought a boat.
in
I don't know.
November.
Yeah. It's legitimately. He's like trying to figure out how to be a boat guy, and I love it.
Right. I mean, okay, he's not gonna be able to use it until like March,
That's
April.
true. But I think he wants to restore it and then have it ready by summer.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I thought he
It's like an
like
old
bought a
boat.
new boat.
No, I think it's a used one, but it's a big one. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done on it.
Mm. Yeah. No, the most boat I've ever owned is my family owned a rowboat. It's like one of those shitty wooden ones and a motor, petrol motor.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So we could go out into the lake and be terrible at fishing.
Mhm.
That was nice. We can't do that anymore because of the pandemic. But
That's true.
I just wanted to be happy for a second.
I've always been ambivalent about the sea because, like, I think it's beautiful and wonderful, but I also think I get really seasick on smaller boats.
Hmm.
And I don't want it feels claustrophobic to me to be stuck on like, if it's just open water all around you.
Yeah.
Weirdly, like, claustrophobic for me.
Oh right. Okay. Two more things that happened this year.
Mhm.
Well, I guess three more things. Thailand is having massive pro-democracy protests and riots and uprisings. Thailand in general in history has been very prone to coups and
Mhm.
revolutions and coup attempts, because essentially the entire country and the seats of all the political power and military and like the seats of all the power in Thailand is Bangkok. And essentially, if you can take over Bangkok, you take over the entire country. So it's fairly easy to perform coups in Thailand, and they kind of have one every once in a
Uh,
while.
see, uh that doesn't seem safe or doesn't seem stable.
It's very unstable. Oh yes,
Yeah.
I mean they have regime changes all the time. I mean, I guess the one thing that stayed constant is that they keep the monarchy.
Mhm. Yeah.
But you know, sometimes they have military dictatorship. Sometimes they have like limited democracy.
Mhm.
Now they're trying to push for just normal democracy.
Right.
Um, and I think people in general are just extremely tired of the instability and political corruption in the country, which is very understandable. I would also
Mhm.
be pretty tired if there was a coup like every 5 years.
Yeah.
Every fucker, like every stupid idiot with a gun and like two friends can take over the Thai government.
Dude, let's take over Thailand this weekend.
Yeah, they almost make it seem that easy.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's a very
It's
serious situation, and
yeah.
it sucks. And
It
a lot of protests. I mean, including the Black Lives Matter protest, which is another thing that's happened this year, which we didn't even mention. But the Black Lives Matter protest and Hong Kong democratic protests and these protests in Thailand.
yeah.
Um, they're very necessary, and I fully support them. But I really hope they wear masks.
Yeah.
Um, that's a lot of people. At least they're outside, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes, Hong Kong protests still going on, and then Joe Biden was elected president of the United States,
He
according
certainly was.
uh,
Yeah.
according to every source except Trump himself.
Except Trump, who is still questioning it. Yeah. I
Mm,
was so convinced, and we bet money. I remember we bet money on this. I was so sure Trump was gonna be reelected, but then COVID happened,
yeah,
and I think legitimately that swayed the election
I
because
think absolutely COVID had an impact. I think Trump might have been reelected had it not been for COVID.
yeah, I mean, it was legitimate. Every sign for me, the way, like, traditional knowledge about American politics seemed to point, he seems like he was cruising his way into a second term with a good economy and
Mm,
no new wars and stuff, but no, then, then this happened.
yeah, I mean, when I made that bet, to be fair, I was also a bit wrong because I was very sure that Bernie Sanders was going to be the nominee.
Mhm.
for the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And I thought that Bernie going up against Trump, I thought Trump would have no chance of winning. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I bet that Trump would lose. Um, but had I known that Biden would be the nominee, I would have bet that Trump would win.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Biden just seems like the worst choice of all of them in a way to me, because he's like the one guy that's more lame than Trump. He's just like an old, feeble-minded guy. I know I shouldn't say this, but like he really comes across that way. Like he seems like he's really struggling to, I don't know, just to exist as a politician.
Yeah. He's not a very energetic person. He's, I mean, dude's old. He's been around. He's been around forever. Like he's been around for so long that he was like buddy with segregationists.
Yeah, he
Like
was.
segregation, that feels like that should have been 100 years ago,
It does.
but
It should.
it was not.
But yeah, it should have been less recently. And like he said, he has a direct quote that says that he doesn't support busing because he didn't want his children to grow up in a what was it, like a jungle,
A
a
racial
racial
jungle.
jungle. Yeah. Like Jesus Christ, this is the 70s.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. And I mean, he was elected as the vice president for the Obama administration because he was the most conservative Democrat they could find.
Yeah.
Because
He was the
the
safest
fear
Democrat.
was that Obama, he's this young, he's black, he's this super progressive guy, and he's just so far left that they have to pick a conservative Democrat to balance him out. Otherwise, the Republicans are gonna, hate Obama, which they did anyway. But that
This is
was the
true.
idea.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, Biden is this like massive progressive. Like what?
I know. I know. It's so infuriating to see him be like, well, we're gonna need to, he's just, I don't know. He's so cynical. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. I mean, something that's like really frustrating for me personally is whenever he talks about healthcare,
Yeah.
because he talks about how like um in my family we've dealt with cancer, and we had to take out a second mortgage or whatever it was that he said, and no one should ever have to go bankrupt because of Medicare or medical bills and all that stuff. And then you ask him like, well, do you support universal healthcare? He's like, fuck no. He's
Yeah.
like, Obamacare too, baby.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know. It's infuriating because he does. Yeah. He is just an infuriating person. And
yeah,
he was also one of the guys in the primaries that called the people calling for universal healthcare like selfish and childish,
yeah,
which is like, I mean, even Trump has come out more positively on universal healthcare than Biden, which is such a mindfuck.
yeah. I mean, Trump is he got those fucking horse steroids when he went to Walter Reed, and then he
Yeah,
was like, "Man, this stuff is great. I'm gonna make sure everyone gets these."
I know.
And he was like 100% super high on steroids for like a week or 2 weeks after
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. He was on all of the drugs
He
too.
was on a cocktail of just everything. He was on LSD. He was on methamphetamines. Like he was on every drug under the sun, and like no fucking wonder he said he felt great.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. No, he was just hopped up on everything. By
Yeah.
the way, I found out a thing about America. Did you know they have like all presidents have a sleep management consultant?
No.
This is a real job that exists. Um, so all presidents get someone who's responsible for knocking the president out and making sure he gets enough sleep. It's
Huh.
true. It's true. I found out about it because the former Danish prime minister had a podcast where he talked about his impressions of I don't know, politics and stuff. And then he brought up how Trump had a really good sleep consultant management person. And then the other guy in the podcast was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's the thing all the presidents have that like give them morphine if they can't sleep and stuff." And I was like, "Holy crap! Did you know this was happening? Do people know this is happening?"
I did not know that. No. I mean, I
But old
I
people,
would imagine that the president can just be like, "Hey, I want some drugs," and
right?
then you know, well, I was like, what are they gonna do? He's the president. Get him some fucking drugs. Um. But
I
yeah.
know.
like morphine for sleep aid. Like that's not something normal Americans can do,
Right,
right?
but also that's a thing that made me think too. These people are very old. Okay, like
Yeah.
look at the politicians in Sweden, Denmark, Germany, whatever.
Hmm.
They're not like 70 or 80 years old like they are in America consistently pretty much these days, you know?
Yeah. No,
It's
we
like
have
a
a lot of
super
like
stressful job.
yeah. No, our politicians generally are in their 30s,
Yeah,
40s. Um, I mean, they seem to retire after a while.
right? Yeah, but they just American politicians keep getting older. I think it started with Reagan.
Maybe, yeah. Uh, yeah,
I don't know.
it's interesting, but I mean, a sleep consultant like Trump, isn't he up at like 2 a.m. tweeting and stuff?
Oh, he is, yeah. He
Yeah,
is.
like I don't think he sleeps very well.
No, you're right. I think mostly it's for when they go on trips with time zones and stuff.
Ah, yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty funny though that he got COVID and then they just pumped him full of steroids and he was like, "Man, I feel great. I feel 20 years younger." It's like, yeah, man. I wonder why.
Did you see that video he put on Twitter that was basically like an 80s action movie scene or like a Michael Bay movie scene where he steps out and the helicopter flies away and he takes off the mask?
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
That was the funniest thing to me because I can just imagine him directing it. Just being like, I want the helicopter to be huge and then fly off, and then I stand on the balcony and I salute it and I take off my mask real cool like.
yeah. I mean,
That's
yeah, it was pretty cool. I suppose
what you say?
it was pretty cool.
It was. It's a very cool statement to
Yeah,
make about a
and
work.
it is made much cooler by the fact that he was super high.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were gonna say it was super hot. I mean,
I mean that too. I mean, have you seen him?
I mean, dude, he's looking extra buff now after COVID.
Is he?
I don't know.
I don't-
Probably not.
no, it's. I mean, his hair is going gray.
Yeah, it has. That's the thing that really happened. Yeah, it's true. I mean, Obama's did too. It's like the salt and pepper curse of the presidency.
Yeah, I guess so. Um, Tanster's asking in the live chat, "What if Biden dies?"
Then Kamala becomes president.
Yeah, what would that be like?
I think okay, so my thoughts on Kamala is I think the Democrats think she's the new Obama, but she's just not that cool to me. She doesn't have that cool factor at all. She's just super awkward and laughy and
Mm,
puts a foot in her mouth all the time. I don't know.
yeah,
They really want that new Obama, this cool guy or woman, preferably woman, who can like sell unpopular neoliberal politics to people.
it's very interesting because she was like the establishment queen at the beginning of the primaries.
Oh yeah, all the establishment people really wanted her or Pete Buttigieg
Yeah,
to be the nominee. Yeah.
no one really liked Biden back then.
No, it's so funny, and even Obama was really hesitant to support him.
Yeah,
Like really waited a long time, and I think it's because, well, one, his policies, but also I think all the establishment Democrats are like, "Don't do this to yourself. Just retire, man.
yeah,
You're very old. It's okay. You don't have to be president."
yeah. Didn't Obama literally say to him like, "You don't have to do this, Joe"?
Yeah, he did. He did. He pulled him aside like that. Um, yeah, and said you maybe shouldn't. Also
Yeah,
because his son had died and stuff. I don't know.
yeah. No, I mean, but yeah, but I mean, back to what you were saying about you don't know if Biden or Trump would be better. I mean, I agree with you that I mean, they're both essentially promoting the same economic policies. They're both neoliberals, essentially. Trump being a bit more of a protectionist or whatever.
Mhm.
But mostly, it's gonna be same old, I think.
I think so, and I think a lot of the policies, if not pretty much all except for the Paris Agreement, it's gonna be same old, honestly. I think the Chinese trade thing is gonna keep going.
Yeah.
because that is just kind of where the superpower thing is going right now. I think America is going to keep being more protectionist,
Yeah.
and I think, well, the climate is going to be better for Biden. That's a win. Climate politics worldwide is going to be better, but I think that's about it because even like, okay, if you actually go into what Trump did on like social stuff, he put in a lot of stuff that made education cheaper for people who needed it and stuff, and like a lot of the medical stuff. And I don't think that's going to get better with the Biden presidency. Big
No.
pharma is usually not very good with, or they usually support Democrats. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have any hopes that Biden is gonna try to tackle big pharma or anything like that. I mean, Trump had the thing where like the US would buy cheaper drugs from Canada, which is not the worst. I mean, it will drive down cost of medicine, probably.
It's a
Um,
short-term solution
it
for sure.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, what would be much better is if the pharmaceutical companies were nationalized and the prices
And
were
it's
just
more
kind
than
of,
Obama ever did. Let's just put it like that.
well, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
So I mean, the opioid crisis is definitely going to continue, and maybe with, I don't know, has the like opioid crisis been affected at all by COVID? Do you think?
That's a great question. I think, I don't think so, sadly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe illegal drugs, illicit drugs, I think have had a rough time, like, like illegal opiates and stuff, I think have, yeah.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, the climate is probably going to get better under Biden. The re-enters into the Paris Climate Accord is one thing. And I mean, they have something akin to a Green New Deal with a uh, some kind of investment into green energy, but it's not the Green New Deal. It's certainly not what the progressives of the Democratic Party want. And
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not optimistic. And on the one hand, we have progressives like Bernie Sanders and AOC and all these people saying that, once Biden becomes president, then it's the time to start protesting and to start demanding things of him. But I'm not super optimistic that that's gonna achieve much.
No, me neither, and that's the thing is what's been really interesting to me is to see who, Biden has appointed to be the people in charge of the different sectors and stuff, and I'm still keeping an eye on that, and it doesn't seem like he's really, I mean, there's been a lot of criticism about the people he's chosen, and it mostly just seems like his old buddies, that
Yeah,
he appointed to all these positions of high power, like all of these very centrist, conservative, blue dog Democrats
yeah,
who
absolutely.
really are just like the neoliberals we talked about. Those are the people who he's really appointing, and he's not really appointing any of the quote unquote new voices of the Democratic Party.
No,
He's playing it very safe right now. I mean, he might still appoint, like I could see him doing something with like urban development. Like that would maybe be an area where he could
yeah.
maybe move things a teeny tiny bit, but I don't even know that he will.
Even things like public transport. Like I don't
Yeah.
even think that's gonna happen.
No, I don't think so. No. But that
Um,
would be like, that could be an urban development project to promote the use of bicycles in American cities from a
yeah.
federal level, but it would still be a state thing. I don't know.
I mean, the thing about bicycles and biking in general is it's very much affected by the city layout and the design of the city. And American cities are definitely designed for cars, with cars in mind.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you can subsidize bikes, you can have like a bike encouragement program or whatever, or bicycle awareness ads. But if cities aren't built to be bike friendly, then people aren't going to use bikes because, like, what? You can't bike on the sidewalk, or you can bike in the middle of the road. Like, that's dangerous. That's how people get hurt.
It's true. It's true. You need
Yeah.
some special bike paths and stuff.
Need bike lanes, need bike paths.
Mhm.
Not just like painting on, on the side of the road like a bike lane. Like, you need protection. And you need to make sure that bikers are safe.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I don't really see that happening in America.
No,
Um,
maybe I know some cities in America, the bigger ones, I think Chicago and Boston maybe have done some things with biking,
Yeah.
but that's like a state thing. That's a thing where the state has decided to do it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't like, on a big scale, I don't think at all that America is gonna be transitioning into more of a biking country at all. Also because so many people live, hundreds of miles of distance from where they work or
Yeah.
their family, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Such
I
a
mean,
big.
that's the whole suburban ideology that was created in like the 50s,
Yeah, and also
basically
people
at
just
the behest of the automotive industry. So,
it's true, yeah, people suddenly could because of automobiles, true, yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, it
Um,
was very much pushed by car companies that, like,
oh,
this
yeah,
idea of the American dream is like when you have your own car and you live in suburbia and you work in the city.
yeah,
That was like that was the ideal picture of how an American family looked like, and only poor people, keyword for black people, would live in the cities.
yeah, it's true.
And I mean that's essentially still how America looks today. I mean, especially with redlining.
Mm, yeah. You know who I like is this crazy John Lydon, the former lead singer Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols, and he said that like he became an American citizen and he voted for Trump because he achieved what he tried to do with the Sex Pistols decades ago, which was to get Americans interested in politics. And I kind of respect that take because it's true. Americans now care about politics, and I'm just used to them not caring about politics at all. Like you couldn't force an American into a political discussion 10 years ago.
Mm.
But now it's all anyone's talking about. Like any news show, any late night show is all about, politics. And it I'm really gonna pay attention to whether or not, because I have a suspicion that they're all gonna go back to not talking about politics now that Trump's not in office.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I mean, that's kind of what Trump's been saying as well, although in different words. I mean, he's been saying essentially that now that Biden is going to be president, or well, he says if Biden is going to be president, then all the CNN and all the media corporations are going to stop talking about coronavirus, um,
Mm,
which I don't really believe, but
no. No, I don't think coronavirus is gonna be
yeah.
no.
But no, I agree with you. I think the worst thing that could come out of a Biden presidency, besides the fact that he would probably involve the U.S. more actively in like the war in Yemen and the genocide in Yemen and civil war in Syria and civil war in Libya, and in general, he's going to involve America more in just pointless wars in the Middle East. But also that it could happen that Americans start to lose interest in politics again.
I think that's a real thing that might happen.
Yeah, and then all of the canvassing and all the campaigning and the campaigns of Biden and the DSA and all these progressive left wing groups are gonna just be ignored. Because
Yeah,
people are
that's
like,
that's
well,
the
what do you
thing.
want? Biden's president. We have
Yeah.
Obamacare.
Right. And that's the real fear for me is, and I don't think that Trump is just going to go away now. I think Thanster in the chat pointed out that like the narrative very easily could be don't criticize Biden because you're going to encourage Trump or you're going to like support Trump indirectly. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
I don't think Trump is done being like running for office or like at least trying to influence American politics. I think he's either gonna like start a media company,
Yeah,
or that's gonna like be Fox News on crack,
yeah.
or he's gonna run for president again in 4 years, if not both.
I think Trump. I think Trump would do well for himself if he started like Trump News,
Yeah,
and he just did that. He just did like a fucking broadcast. It doesn't have to be daily. It could be a weekly broadcast where he just talks about stuff and he just, stream of consciousness rambling like he does. And people
sure.
tune in and then they listen to him and he says weird things about Obama not being born in the US and, Biden being a communist or whatever. And then, he makes money and he becomes
And I
rich.
Yeah, and I think like Awesome Everton is saying in the chat, why wouldn't he? He'll just keep doing rallies too. Like, why not? People will
Yeah.
still show up at rallies, I'm sure. Yeah, maybe
Oh,
he'll
dude,
do.
a Donald Trump call-in show would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be the funniest? That would be so fun. If he was at the rallies and he had people calling in to the rallies, I would watch it. I would.
I would, yeah, I would watch it. I mean, Trump is just this fascinating person to watch, just to observe.
Yeah,
It's
he is.
it's like a train wreck, like it's like a car accident. Like you don't want to look away from it.
And he's also kind of genuinely funny sometimes, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he's
no,
yeah, he's one of the more fascinating people just to watch in general because you never know what he's gonna do. Is he gonna spend 20 minutes
yeah,
talking about how he was so cool because he walked up a ramp? Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. I mean that is what I enjoy about Trump is that he can just say stuff. It's like he doesn't have a filter. He doesn't
Yeah,
think. Like he's either incredibly stupid or he's a genius because
yeah.
he can just say whatever. The greatest thing is that everyone, all of his followers, are just like, yeah, absolutely, like hell yeah, you're great at drinking that glass of water, and like hell yeah, you can walk up a ramp, like all these things.
Yeah. So that's my main worry. Like honestly, I'm not sad that Trump isn't going to be president anymore. That's not what I mean, but I worry a little about what it's going to do for America now. That's
Hmm.
all I mean. Cuz I think this could end up biting progressives in the ass in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I think some progressives, like some Elizabeth Warren supporters, some I don't know, Buttigieg supporters, or even Kamala supporters, were saying essentially, um, Biden being the nominee is good because he can beat Trump, and then we can do progressive stuff afterwards. But I don't know how easy it's going to be to influence a Biden presidency, a Biden administration, because the Democrats don't want to hear anything from the progressive wing of the party.
True. And they're also in a super terrible situation just as an administration because the Republicans are probably going to have a majority in the Senate.
Yeah, either a
So it's
majority or it's going to be a tie.
either a tie or the Republicans will. I think the Republicans will end up with 51.
Yeah,
But if they do, it's just going to be investigation after investigation. It's going to be like, oh, you thought the Russian investigation stuff was bad. Let's look into Hunter Biden for 4 years, like that
yeah,
sort of deal. Just going to be
uh,
pure charade and voting no to everything Biden wants to do, etc. Yeah.
yeah. I mean that's something that the Republicans did during Obama as well. It's just they just said no, we're not going to vote on that. And they've been doing it now with legislation coming from the House of Representatives, which is a Democratic majority. The House passes a bill, and then it goes to the Senate, and the Senate is like, "Yeah, we're not gonna vote on this."
Right.
And
We're
it's
not going
like,
to do it.
"You're not gonna pass any laws?" And they're like, "No, we're just not." Like, and then the House is like, "Okay, fine, we'll compromise with the Republicans. We'll add a bunch of, you know, tax
Cuts.
tax
Yeah.
cuts for the wealthy and everything." And then they send it to the Senate, and Mitch McConnell is like, "Well, we're not going to vote on that."
Right.
Well, we tried to compromise you, and he's like, "Well, fuck you," you know?
Yeah. Mitch McConnell has sort of, in like a very mean and malicious way, been like a genius in this
Yeah,
because he's been the guy who said like, "How about we never give them anything?"
yeah,
Which is like the most childish, terrible thing to do in a democracy.
yeah.
But he's just like, "How about no?" Like he's that guy.
I
He's
mean,
like,
it,
"Let's."
it it's legitimately just fucking over the entire American population for the sake of like a slight political advantage.
Right. Totally. Yeah, that's his whole strategy. It's just like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Like I don't care that people might be suffering or that this is going to hurt people.
yeah,
I'm not going to give the Democratic Party literally anything.
yeah,
And the Democrats don't know what to do about it.
yeah. I mean, the take the stimulus check as an example, right? So the Democrats passed in the House, like, okay, we're gonna do a stimulus bill. We're gonna get money to people so
Mhm.
that they can stay home, right? Because a lot of people have lost their jobs due to the pandemic. So we're gonna get stimulus checks to people so that they
Right.
can buy food and stay alive and not fucking die and become homeless, right? And then it goes to the Senate, and Mitch McConnell's like, this is way too much money. And then Nancy Pelosi has to be like, okay, fine. it will reduce it. You know, we'll accept smaller stimulus checks. Like we'll spend less money on it. And Mitch McConnell's like, no, fuck you.
Right.
And then as like an additional fuck you, he's like, yeah, maybe give them like crumbs, like scraps. He like suggests like a super, super like cut down version of the stimulus bill, which is
Mhm.
like nowhere near enough for people to survive on. And then Nancy Pelosi said, that's bullshit. Like you're just lowballing us. And then she was turned into the devil because now she's refusing to pass the stimulus bill.
Yeah, that's totally what they did. He's kind of secretly, if you're going for just like how evil can a person be, he's kind of a genius, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's Machiavellian, you
Yeah,
know?
totally. So now she becomes the person that doesn't want to give people COVID
Yeah,
relief.
yeah. Now
The Democrats don't want it.
she's become the one to not approve the stimulus check,
Yeah,
even though like even if she had agreed to that stimulus bill, the Republicans would probably still have been like, no, never mind. Like we're
yeah,
not going to pass it in the Senate.
yeah. Also, a quick thing related to this is Thanster in chat a while ago said, if we think Americans are slowly radicalizing and splitting between far right and far left in the end, I think that's what you need someone like Trump to do that.
Yeah.
To get people to go, we need something else. If you have someone who's kind of okay, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
someone like Biden, we saw it too with Obama. There wasn't really, I mean, near the end of his presidency, there was a lot of movement towards the ends. But I worry, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think this is like, I think what Trump did that was good for America and what might have radicalized people is that it forced literally everyone and everything to be partisan.
Yeah.
You're either for Trump or against Trump, and then that was like your narrative as a news organization, and then you explained if you really believe that he was wrong about this or living in like a fairy tale world of fake news, you would then have to tear it apart and be like, no, this is not the reality he's describing. The reality is this. And then a lot of people are seeing it going like, wow, reality really sucks for a lot of people. You know, like there's a lot of poor people in this country and I wasn't
Yeah.
aware of this. So people become radicalized that way. I think that's a big part of it. And when you have someone like Biden, who's a born and raised politician who knows how to not rock the boat,
Yeah.
I think it just leads to more murky nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And the news doesn't actively report on murky, hard to understand, complex stuff.
I think so. I think that's kind of what I'm imagining a Biden presidency to be is boring. Is
Yeah.
it's gonna be, back room, people in gray suits, smoking cigars. It's gonna be just not very exciting.
Yeah.
And even the things that are gonna have massive impact on millions of people, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people, it's just not going to be exciting enough for people to want to care. Like people, especially once the pandemic is over, people are just want to go back to their normal lives. And under a Biden presidency, yeah, maybe they can live in some sort of normalcy, at least until the next election.
Mhm.
But I think the push for progressive change is going to have it's going to be an upward battle. I think. For the
Mhm.
DSA and for the Progressive Caucus and everything in the Democratic Party, I think they're gonna have a very hard time to engage a large enough chunk of the American population to protest and to call out the Biden administration when it does bullshit and when when it doesn't do health, it doesn't cover everyone with health insurance, right? Which Biden's proposal is gonna miss out about 3% of the entire American population from getting healthcare coverage. So
Yeah.
even with the Affordable Care Act, right, which essentially says that everyone should be able to have affordable healthcare, even
Mhm.
then with that proposal, which is a compromise of a compromise essentially, there's
Mhm.
still going to be 3% of the population that won't have Obamacare, that won't have the healthcare coverage, and they're still going to have private health insurance.
And there's still gonna be all these I saw a really horrifying documentary a few months ago about how life is like for a lot of people in Appalachia, for instance, in the US, which is this giant mountain
Yeah,
range where you just have these people living in the most abject poverty you can imagine, who like don't know like who the president is, who don't like the work they all work in like coal mines or some very manual labor positions, which are just the bottom rung of society, basically. And you have millions of people like that are just completely forgotten by society and who are just, just generation after generation getting more and more starved out by society and more desperate and like the opioid
Yeah.
crisis like destroying these people's lives and children are growing up with no parents and it's terrifying and it sucks and like it just I worry because the Democrats traditionally haven't cared at all about and the Republicans haven't either. Like they've done nothing to help those communities since like the 60s where they kind of attempted a little bit, you know?
Mm.
So, I don't know. It's just it sucks that there are these giant swaths of society in America that no one and no politician cares about, and that's what I worry about with the Biden presidency is he gonna maybe, yas queen more, gender stuff? Probably, yeah,
Yeah.
but are people's also like, I would take and this is maybe cynical, but I really want Americans to like get involved in politics because nothing is going to change until more people vote, more people get engaged, more people join a union, more people join a party, whatever, If people still think it doesn't matter to join or to get involved with politics, then nothing's going to change.
Yeah. I mean, that's there's the Sunrise Movement, which is this very big and seems pretty successful grassroots organization aiming to create, a movement for progressive candidates in, primaries and all these things, and trying to kick out, conservative Democrats. And then there's the DSA as well, which have been gaining a lot of members this past year. They've kind of been skyrocketing and gone from like this pretty tiny and mostly irrelevant organization into like something that a lot of Americans have heard of now, and they've gotten into sort of national prominence for the first time, especially with the fact that there are now members of Congress that are members of the DSA, right? Like AOC and Rashida Tlaib.
Hmm, that's very cool,
Yeah.
and
So
that's important. But yeah, I just hope that it also reaches those disparate areas because there are just giant swaths of America that are just completely forgotten by everyone and aren't getting the help they need and stuff.
yeah, I mean it has been like that essentially forever, and I don't know. I mean, there needs to be uh, overwhelming radical change, and for that to happen, there needs to be overwhelming and radical support for progressive politicians and for grassroots movement. And I don't know. I don't know. I hope the momentum will keep going. I hope people will still care enough to analyze and to criticize the Biden administration, even if they voted for him, even if they supported Biden, even if they were, never Trumpers.
Mhm.
I hope people won't just forget about politics again, and I hope that there won't be a return to normalcy,
Mhm.
which Biden obviously is essentially has been campaigning on, is a return
Mhm.
to normalcy. But I think a return to normalcy would be the worst thing that can happen.
Probably. I think so too. I'm not saying Trump is good, but I'm saying it's better than no one caring.
Ultimately, I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, Although I wouldn't, I probably wouldn't have voted for Trump.
No. No, 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 no. That's not what I mean either. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it would be really, yeah, it's bad times.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Should we move on from America? Do you think? We're
We
talking
should.
about.
Yeah. I have to go to the bathroom really quickly, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
The chat has been really interesting to follow along with, by the way. Love
Hey,
you
chat.
guys.
How are you doing, chat? Um, the liberals will go straight to brunch. They totally don't give a shit. Yeah, again, that is what I'm afraid of. Essentially, is the return to normalcy, the return to brunch, if you will. And people just don't want to hear criticisms of Biden. People don't want to hear about Medicare for all. People don't want to hear about how a bunch of people aren't getting coverage by the new Obamacare plan, about how we're still not doing enough for the environment. I think people are just going to be like, I just want to have brunch. I don't want to hear about how the environment is being destroyed right now. We just got out of a Trump presidency. We just got out of COVID. I just want to have brunch. That's what I'm afraid of happening. And I think to a degree, it's already started happening. I think a lot of people are like, wow, I'm so happy that Trump got voted out. I'm so happy that Biden got elected. Now we can finally breathe out. Now things can finally be normal again. Like, no, things should not be normal. Shit isn't normal. And any pretense of normalcy is really just covering up the fact that shit's fucked. That a bunch of people are in poverty, a bunch of people are homeless, a bunch of people are going without enough food, a bunch of people are going without healthcare, and a bunch of people are going without education. That's not normal. Well, that shouldn't be normal. Pretending like, oh, everything's normal, we can just go back to eating brunch. I mean, that's just neglect. That's just covering your eyes, covering your ears, and going la la la, and essentially the old American the old American tradition of going fuck you, I've got mine. And I'm middle class. I can afford to eat brunch. I can afford healthcare. I can afford college. Fuck you. I think what a lot of liberals, what their problem with Trump was his behavior, was his decorum, or failing to uphold decorum, failing to not act responsibly, failing to not act like a president. I feel like a lot of people, their biggest problem with Trump was his personality more than what he was actually doing, which is very much not the point of politics. Materially, I doubt much will change, as that one, not this one. Trump wasn't diplomatic and quiet. That's what they dislike. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you that materially things aren't going to change in America. Things are going to be relatively the same with a few token changes. And then what we've already seen, which is a lot of raving about, oh, this is the first non-binary minister of agriculture, that kind of thing. It's kind of like almost like a distraction, like a kind of smokescreen, like hiding the fact that they're not doing anything. Like, we're so progressive because the new fucking Minister of Homeland Security is in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. I'm back, by the way.
Hey, how was your pee break?
Oh, it was great. I went into the room where you pee, and I peed, and it was
That's
great.
good. That's how you do it.
It is, yeah. So have you been talking to the chat?
Oh yes, no, we were just I was just raving about how I don't like liberals.
Yeah. No, I can co-sign that.
Oh yeah, what else happened this year?
I mean, I guess we could get into COVID if we didn't already, but is that almost like too? I don't know. Do you want to talk about COVID more?
No, I mean, honestly, I've had so much of COVID already.
Too. Me too.
I
I feel like we've said all we needed, haven't we? It sucks, and the vaccine is coming soon, hopefully, and socially distance till it's gone, and then let's move on.
Yeah. Um, I mean, Sweden has Sweden hasn't really handled the pandemic very well.
Mm.
They're trying to do like a hard turn now. Something that was kind of infuriating was so the government came out and said bars have to close at 10
Hmm.
uh, in order to lower the risk of infection.
Right.
So yeah, like bars and restaurants, I think closing early. But a bunch of bars, I think like most of them have used a kind of a loophole in the law by being like, okay, yeah, we're gonna close at 10, and then at 10:30 we're gonna open again.
What?
Yeah,
They're gonna sorry, they're gonna what at
we're
10?
gonna open again at 10:30. It's like
Oh.
they close at 10 and then they open at 10:30.
Ah, come on. That's
Yeah.
ah.
So, but on the other hand, the government hasn't been like the government didn't offer any way of compensation for forcing bars closed.
Okay, yeah.
Um, so these people who own these bars and people who work at these bars, some of them being cooperatives and owned by the workers themselves, are saying that if we have to close at 10, uh, we're gonna go bankrupt. Like we're gonna have to get rid of staff. We're gonna have to cut down on costs. Like we can't
Mm.
survive without a stimulus check, and there is no stimulus check.
No, no. I know the Danish government has given out stimulus packages to nightlife places.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly it works though. It doesn't sound like they're very happy about it either, but they also close at 10 here, and they have for months now.
Mm.
It's sad. There's a big party street close by where I live, um, that's very famous in Scandinavia and northern Germany, and the military blocked it off for weeks because they didn't want people staying on it, even when all the things were closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, one of the problems in Sweden has been the fact that the Swedish government is, as far as I understand it, the Swedish government is a fairly weak government. The centralized government is fairly weak because
Mhm.
we've done like decades of decentralization.
Mhm.
And so I think the prime minister was looking for ways to enforce lockdowns and closing stores and all these kinds of things. And eventually he just kind of found that we can't really like legally close businesses. So the most he could do was like go on television and be like, don't go out, don't go drinking. But
Right.
like he couldn't make it a law.
I heard about that speech that was basically just like a very stern speech, unusual speech to the nation, just being like, "Don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, he said the time for partying is over.
Time for partying is over." That's a powerful message.
Yeah. I mean, he sounded like a very grumpy old dad, and he was saying, like, you have to behave yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, much like a divorced stepdad, he didn't have any power over his kids, and they just went out anyway.
Yeah. That's I mean, yeah. Yeah. Sad.
So what's been happening in Denmark? Like I know there was a lockdown very early, but I don't know much more than that.
Well, okay, there was it's been kind of so unlike Sweden, Denmark has been very uh early to respond, I guess you could say, to the outbreak, and shut down all industries as well as all schools in March. So everything was just shut down for, oh God, how long did, like, until June, I think. Everything was just shut down and people were working from home and only vital industries were open. And then as the first wave kind of came and went, things started opening up a bit in the summer and they were saying, hey, maybe, it's going to be fine. But now, as all of Europe has basically fallen under wave two, everything's starting to be shut down again. But we're not as shut down as some other nations. Like schools are open and stuff. I think because of how we managed to keep COVID-1, the first wave, under control.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it's been kind of crazy because very early on, the Danish government passed a law that said that they could basically do whatever in the name of COVID. So, well, that might be pushing it, but kind of, they could do whatever. Like just a few weeks ago, they just went out on a press conference saying, "Yeah, all minks have to be killed now. So people who own minks in Denmark, kill your minks."
Yeah.
That was just an order given, and they found out that they technically weren't allowed to do that, so they just passed a law anyway to do it, to say, like, "We hereby say it's legal that told them to kill all the minks." So these last couple of weeks, they've killed 12 million minks
Yeah.
in this tiny country.
Because there was
Because
a strain of COVID, right?
yeah,
That was discovered. That was like a
a new strain that
yeah,
might
like
be
a mutation.
yeah,
And I guess it was like if we don't deal with this now, there might be an outbreak, or like this might spread to humans, and it would be
exactly.
like COVID-2 electric boogaloo.
Yeah. It's true, and you wouldn't want Denmark to be the new, epicenter of a new virus, you know? Like, that's what the Danish government was thinking, like, "This is not gonna look good." You know? It's
I mean,
right,
yeah, I mean, just think of the PR disaster.
right? Just huddle up here, go, Wuhan has really gotten a bad rap these last couple of months from a lot of people. A lot of folks are saying it's no good what happened in Wuhan. Let's not let that happen here.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, though, yeah. Um, it's been very, there's been a lot of power given to the central government in the name of protecting against um, the pandemic, I guess. But it's also like I also just kind of think they handled it pretty well, all in all. I don't think they kind of overstepped their bounds, really. I think there's been a lot of support for the way it's been handled, but obviously it sucked. It really sucked this spring
Yeah.
for me. It really ruined a lot of stuff for me that I was planning on doing, but I can't complain. I don't wanna be selfish because obviously a lot of people had a much worse time than me, but
Mm.
it wasn't a fun time to be at university that
No,
fall.
I quit my university course in April.
Mhm.
Because we were doing like distance and whatever, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like it was just we were using Adobe Connect, which is
Mhm.
like this fucking 20-year-old software
Huh.
um to do like essentially Zoom meetings. Um and I don't
That
know, just that particular university course, it was just really it was just really hard. So I just dropped out in April, and then I just pissed around and did nothing essentially
mm.
um, until August when I picked it up again.
Oh, you're back in university.
Yes, yes, I'm back.
Studying the same thing or studying something else?
Right now I'm doing classic literature.
Ooh, that's right. You told me. My
Yeah,
bad.
so we did the Odyssey and the Iliad and Dante's Inferno and um, Ulysses. No,
Mm.
yes, right? Yeah, Ulysses, James Joyce. The one where
Mm.
the guy is walking around town and he goes to a funeral. And it's, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's
Have you
good.
read that one? Have
Yeah.
you read that one, Ulysses?
I haven't read it, but I've read what it's about and stuff.
Yeah.
I've read some of it. I really like the way he writes, though. He's great.
I don't like it.
You don't? Oh, I like it. It's very flowery language.
It's nice. I don't, it's very confusing.
Yeah, it is. It's true.
Especially when you have to write a book report on it.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the questions is like, so what's the book about? And I'm
Oh,
just like, it's about a guy and he like walks around and I imagine he's walking like that one gif. Oh god. You know that one guy in the wrestling scene, like the CEO who's like also plays a character.
Vince McMahon?
Yeah, Vince McMahon. And
Right.
there's like
Yeah.
this one gif of him where he's like walking and smiling. He's like,
Right.
yeah, that's how I
Very good.
imagine he's walking around in the book.
Yeah,
He's
it's
going
true.
around town.
confidently strolling,
Yeah.
aggressively strolling. Yeah.
Very aggressive strolling.
Yeah.
And just, I guess just thinking is just, most of the book is just him thinking about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't like it.
No, no. But that
Uh,
sounds really interesting, though. The classics.
yeah.
Yeah. I've always been drawn to the classics myself.
We're
But
also going to be doing language. So we're going to be doing Latin, Greek, and Arabic.
oh, that's cool.
Like introduction to those three languages. Because we're going to be handling like primary sources for history and stuff.
That rules.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really interesting. Can you get like okay, this is a very technical question, but can you get merits from the other thing you studied on the thing?
The course that I quit.
Mhm.
No.
Okay. Because sometimes you can get a thing where you then finish quicker because it's a similar thing they're doing in the other one.
No, I don't think
Mm.
so. Because I only turned in like one thing. Maybe I got like one merit point or something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you make them aware of it, I'm sure they could put that on your diploma at the end too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna pick it up again because it was just like a. Well, no, actually, I'm not gonna pick up that course. Never mind. It was a very like specific history thing. I'm just gonna do like a more general history course. I think.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck my diploma is gonna be in at the end.
Who knows?
It's gonna be like history, linguistics, social studies. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm gonna be
Mm.
an expert in having ADHD, I think.
Yeah. You're gonna be a renaissance man, is what you're
Yeah, that's another way of putting it.
yeah, you're gonna have a master's in Renaissance manning.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
Interesting.
I went to therapy for ADHD. I didn't tell
Oh, you
you.
did?
Or
Yeah.
no, maybe I did tell you that.
Has it helped? Do you feel it's
Uh,
helped?
no.
No. Okay.
I haven't gotten any medication yet. Um, like we're still doing the diagnostic stage of it.
Uh-huh.
So I got my diagnosis like last week.
Okay. Wow,
Uh,
that's taken a long time.
yeah, I know it's taken the whole year.
Crazy.
Because I applied like in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, you did. I
And then
remember.
I had to see like 3 therapists,
Just
like
to get the
one after another, and I had to tell them like my symptoms,
Uh-huh.
and they had to like evaluate if those symptoms that I had were ADHD symptoms, and then they sent me to as like a specialist in ADHD.
Wow. See, that's interesting because here, I'm not joking. You go into an office and you say, "I think I have this thing," and they ask you a couple of questions, give you a questionnaire, you fill it out, and then you have the diagnosis.
Yeah, no, it did not work that way here.
It's not good. I'm not saying this way of doing it is better necessarily,
Mm.
I think, but there should be a middle ground between a year of looking at you through a glass and, like, someone
Sweden,
giving you a testing, "Do you want drugs? Yes,
yeah,
no."
the Swedish mental health care system in general is extremely conservative in the way where like you have to do like weeks of therapy before you can get like a sleeping pill, like melatonin
Right.
or melanin. What is it? Which one is
Mel
the skin and which one is the sleeping?
I think, melanin is the sleep one. Is that what it's called?
No, melatonin is the sleeping pill.
Melatonin, that's the one.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
melanin is what makes you white or black. In
That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Melatonin, that's right. Can you buy that over the counter in Sweden, by the way? Do you know?
melanin?
No, the thing that makes you sleep.
No, you cannot. You
You
need a
need a
prescription for it, and for that you need to go to a doctor and you need to like convince them that you can't sleep.
right.
And then they're going to be like, well, have you tried turning off your phone? Have you tried going to bed early? Have you tried, getting up after 30 minutes and doing something else for a while and then going back to sleep? And like all these things. And you just have to be like, yes, I've tried that. Yes, I've tried that. Yes, I've tried it. No, I still can't sleep. Give me the goddamn melatonin. It's not even a hard drug. It's just NyQuil. Like,
That's hilarious.
Well, yeah, basically to get anything other than like Tylenol, you have to go to a doctor and get a prescription. It really
Gotcha.
sucks.
Yeah. I had some of those pills too. In the US, you can just buy it over the counter. It
Yeah,
rules.
you can buy as much as you want.
Yeah, just go crazy. You can also get like all that cough medicine stuff that's really
Yeah,
helpful.
you can get that thing that they make meth out of.
Oh yeah, you totally can. Yeah.
I don't know what it's. I forget what it's called. Some says S something. Soul tablets.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I forget. I don't remember what it's called.
Mm.
Meth.
Yeah. It's a long process of getting prescriptions and things in this
All the
country.
stuff I know about meth, I've sort of tangentially picked up from Breaking Bad. That's about it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Meth, and then also people in my life.
Yeah. Oh man. I think it's time for maybe we should talk to the chat a bit. They're like like going full revolution mode on us, saying we should talk to the chat more, else they're gonna overthrow you or something. And then I think I'm gonna bounce.
um, YouTubers don't care about chat. What is it they even want us to talk about?
I don't know. Like there's
Someone
nothing.
said, "Fucking communists, go die and hell with Marx."
Mm-hmm. Someone's talking about how tall Thanster is. Pablo Novi is talking about something. How COVID doesn't exist, and
Is this what you wanted us to read, chat?
uh,
Is how communists go to hell and COVID isn't real?
hmm the NHS is in the UK. This is accurate.
That is
Yes,
true.
that is a good thing. Yeah, that's true. Depression does suck. That's also true.
Mm.
What am I teaching at the moment? Oh, German, history, and English is what I'm teaching right now.
Oh, you're doing German.
I love German. I think it's actually a really fun subject to teach children
Hmm.
because
When
you don't need to know a lot of it, and I certainly don't. But you,
yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, I didn't know you knew German.
I do,
Yeah,
sort of,
some.
some,
Yeah,
yeah. But I'm brushing up on it. I'm learning. I'm trying. But the
that's the important
fun
part.
thing, fun thing about teaching kids is they don't know anything.
Yeah.
They don't know anything.
What age group are you teaching?
Uh, just like 13 to 16 ish.
Oh yeah, same as me.
Yeah.
Also the
So
general group that I'm doing.
hey, suddenly the chat is German. That's great. Du magst also Deutsch? Ja, genau. Guten Tag. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Ja. Wie ist das Wetter bei dir? Gut. See, I'm great.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
would
good enough
sort of
for a high school teacher, I would say.
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. We actually just this week had a subject in one of my classes about the weather that was called Die Wetter.
Ah, what does
It
that
was
mean?
the weather.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Which
like a
which
lot.
one of those words means weather? Which one means the?
Yeah. Could you even like I had to look it up just to
Yeah.
be safe. Yeah. But I like German and language classes in general now because it's a lot of movement,
Mm.
a lot of physical activities and stuff where it's like not just sitting down, and it's also like dancing and stuff. It's fun. It's different
You
now.
dance in German class?
Yeah, you do. You do because they all it's so funny because there's been so many new uh uh Deutsch als Fremdsprache tools and resources, just like foreign language German resources
Mm.
developed these last 10 years because everyone knows that kids hate German class. So there's been so many like how do we make this interesting resources made, and I love it. I think it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's like math too. Math has gotten really fun for kids. I remember it being so boring. And so like sit down and write these things and learn
Oh, are
this.
they doing with like the apps and stuff? Like the
Yeah,
games?
they have like mats, they walk around numbers and stuff. It's great.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, because I was in a middle school class just as a like a substitute for a while, like a month, and I was kind of helping out some younger kids with math class. I think I had English primarily, but I had some math class as well. And they had like a bunch of like because all the kids these days have computers and phones and things, tablets or whatever. And they have like all these apps and things with like number games and multiplication tables and things. And it's like they were fucking excited to do math class because they could play this math game, this coolmathgame.com. But I wasn't, but
Right.
That's what I had when I was a kid.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even have that because I'm 30. I'm an old guy.
Yeah.
So I didn't have anything. I was just like full on Dickensian.
Yeah.
Just
You
like
didn't have calculators.
no, that was a thing that came in the 1800s, I think, 19 something.
Yeah. You had the abacus,
Yeah,
uh,
we did. We
ancient
did.
Babylonian.
Yeah. We would send telegrams for numbers. So we would send telegrams to the math department in the war ministry. We would say, "Dearest sir, stop. Could you please be so kind as to give me the equation results from 3 times 10? Dearest regard, pupil Peter." And then we'd wait,
2
hours and then
weeks.
response. Yeah.
You send a letter by courier.
Just with a pigeon.
Yeah.
Pigeon
I
mail.
just like the idea of like giving a letter to like a little 10-year-old boy with a newspaperman's cap, being like, "This needs to go to Stockholm." And
Yes.
he's like, "Yes, sir." And
Chip,
then
chip.
he goes off on his bike.
Yeah. And it's like the most overworked little kid.
Yeah. Fucking bikes from Gothenburg to Stockholm.
"You're on. You're very late."
It's like 48 hours. Poor kid. I give him
"I'm
like a
sorry, sir."
shilling
Yeah.
or
"I
something.
did it the fastest I could."
My little legs, they only go so fast.
"My little tiny legs, they Anyway,
All right. It's been fun.
yeah, it has. Thank
Thank you for joining me for this
No,
stream.
thank you for this has been great. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you want to be back for some other stream, I'm live every Saturday and Sunday on youtube.com/azureScapegoat.
Mhm.
That's youtube.com/azureScapegoat. And Peter, if you want to be notified when I'm live, you can subscribe and click the bell button to receive
Oh,
notifications.
see, this is good information that I and other people could benefit from.
Yes. And if you would like more updates from me, you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/azureScapegoat.
Oh, see, this is also good information that
So,
I and other people could benefit from.
yeah, I mean, I'm just letting you know for your benefit.
Thank you.
And you could join my Discord server.
Mhm.
The link of which is in the description below this video.
Wow. And where would you find this video again? No, I'm just kidding.
And Patreon, whatever.
Patreon, yes.
Yeah.
Also,
You know where it is. Whatever. I don't.
oh yeah,
It's whatever.
it's fine. Also, I don't really tweet anymore, but go follow me on Twitter anyway.
Yeah, Peter Rhodes.
That's right.
I put your Twitter in the description so people can
I
follow
saw.
you.
That's very cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, I was thinking like, I wanna put a link to you to something.
Mhm. Yeah.
You have a YouTube, but you haven't uploaded there in I don't know how
No,
long.
no, it's totally fine. I don't need the
Yeah.
the
Are you
plug.
gonna go back to doing your YouTube series?
Probably not.
Oh.
Probably not.
Oh well.
But I'd like to do more of these streams and stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
You can fucking take over my channel, you greedy piece of shit.
You got it, boss.
You're like, oh, I don't want to have my own channel, but I'd gladly take over yours.
if you could just give me yours, that's socialism, right?
You know what? You're right. Honestly, you can have it.
Yeah,
Promise
I'm
to
gonna
make an explainer video once a month, and you can fucking take it over.
I'm gonna do a socialist Q&A.
Yeah. I would just like pick a random fucking topic from Marxism and just explain it and make shitty animations.
I love your animations, man, though, for real.
Thank you. They're what I can do.
Which
They're
is more than most people do, honestly.
thank you. It's
So yeah.
it's funny because it's like, oh, that's my style now, but in reality it's just like that's how good I could make it. Like I couldn't do it any better. But now it's almost like I have to intentionally make my videos look shitty because that's my style.
Right. You have that's your yeah.
That's my
That's
brand.
basically the best you can do, the only thing you can do, and your trademark.
Yeah.
It's
I have
great.
to. I'm gonna fucking copy strike Salmonella like everyone else who does stick figures on YouTube.
Damn right.
I was here in like 2014 or whatever, whenever I joined.
Hell yeah. You're the original stick figure animator guy.
I'm really not. But let's pretend I am.
Yeah.
All
By the
right.
way, this is probably the last episode before Newgrounds bites the dust.
Oh yeah. R.I.P. Newgrounds.
That was my childhood, Newgrounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. My childhood was. Oh, I think it may have had a Danish equivalent.
Mhm.
But there's an extremely specific website called Anna's Linkburkar,
Okay.
which is Anna's link jars.
Okay.
It's just it was just a website with like a bunch of pictures of jars of like jugs and bowls and things, and they were links to different websites. It was like
That-
a giant collection of links to other websites.
Right.
And
I remember
yeah,
those websites. Yeah, those what do they call them?
I don't know,
Ah,
like link collection sites or something.
meta websites, I think they called them also. Where
Yeah,
it's like where it was all just like the website about other websites. Like
yeah.
cool. Yeah. I remember those.
And just link to games and things like Flash animations and like the hamster dance.
Do you remember You're the Man Now Dog? That website?
Maybe.
That was one of the before YouTube things. I think it still exists. You're the Man Now Dog, where it was just like these very short HTML clips that were on a
Oh.
website that you're like designed so that your slow ass internet could load it very very quickly and
Mm.
play a 2-second soundbite with some funny pictures on it. That's really like that's what it was. It was Newgrounds for me, and
Yeah.
it would just be like complete whatever, like just a visual assault on you, all these things.
Yeah.
And but for real though, Newgrounds is shutting down probably in December because all the browsers no longer support Flash, which is
Mm.
obviously butter for Newgrounds animation. So
Yeah.
if you want to enjoy the very old, very very old, I'm talking like 2002, 2001, 2099 stuff, it's probably permanently going to go away in a couple of days, sadly.
Yeah. But I mean, there's still gonna be like archive.org and stuff.
That's true, but yeah, that is true. You probably still would be able to,
Yeah.
yeah.
And a lot of the old animators from that era have gone on to the YouTube.
They
Yeah.
have, yeah, or like work for Adult Swim
Yeah.
or Nickelodeon. A lot of those people that started in that, in those, yeah, that like, and then you have. It's such a funny thing because there's such a split on the old animators too on Newgrounds.
Mm.
Have you? I don't know that I should mention this name public. I won't mention this name, but there are some people who are also extremely political and problematic today that came from Newgrounds.
Ah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway,
I can
anywho,
imagine.
yes. Well, that's yeah. I'll text it to you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Honestly, googling controversial Newgrounds people will bring up all the names I'm thinking of anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go, but this was great. Let's do it again some other time soon.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, man. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. Now it is just me and this wonderful profile picture of the cat, which goes. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you, or I will see you. I don't know if Peter's going to be there tomorrow for probably a more normal, regular stream. Maybe playing video games. Who knows? See you then. And goodbye.